Hi, within this lecture we're going to see how we can save the output of subprocess calls, okay? And why do we want that? Because I want to introduce a new feature where the software actually controls if the MAC address has been changed or not, as I said before. So when I type ifconfig, it really shows me the new MAC address, right? So first of all, I want to just save this ifconfig output to a variable inside of my code so that later on I can get the iter part out of that variable and check if it's really the new MAC that I have specified. So first I have to get this eth0 ifconfig thing, then get this iter part and just compare these two values. So I have mainly three steps here. But first of all, I have to run the ifconfig after I change the MAC address, and then I have to just save it to another variable. Okay? So we know how to run ifconfig, right? All we have to do is just say subprocess.call ifconfig. But it really doesn't show the output to the user. It really just calls the ifconfig, and in order to save the output, I'm going to show you another method. So let me just create this control new MAC function. Okay, we're going to do our thing in this function. So this is new, not new. Okay, and now I have to just create a variable called ifconfig, or you can choose whatever you want, and I'm going to use subprocess again, but rather than call, this time I will say check output. Okay, so how do I know this? Because I have read the documentation. So you just supply the same code, same commands in lists again. So ifconfig eth0, for example, and it won't just run the command, but it actually checks the output of that command. So if I type ifconfig eth0, it will run the ifconfig only for eth0, and it will show me the result of that. And we're going to get this exact result and save it to a variable called ifconfig under this function. So remember, we use the interface in here, so we have to get the same interface in this function as well, because maybe our user is not going to work with eth0, maybe he is or she is going to work with wlan o. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to delete eth0 from here and give interface as input. So now I'm okay. So let me print out this ifconfig variable so that we can check if it actually works. And of course I have to run and call this control new MAC function, and for interface I will say user input dot interface, as I did before. So I think we're done to check and test if our control new MAC function actually works. So let me run this command with another value, this time like 33, and let me hit enter. Now as you see, we changed the MAC to new address, and we also got the eth0 ifconfig output down below. Now actually we have completed the first part out of 3 for our execution of control new MAC. We have to get this iter part out of this text and then compare this iter part with the specified user input so that we can be sure if the MAC address has been really changed. So let's do that in the following lecture.